Oh, the 2000s, how I miss you so. You gave us so many good things. The Raimi trilogy, Uncharted 2, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, that's good. I don't care. But best of all, it gave us the little bundle of joy that was the Nintendo Wii. The Wii is my favorite console of all time. And for everyone going, oh, but the GameCube had the best library, the GameCube was the best console. You can literally play GameCube games on your Wii! How is this a fucking argument? And the Wii in and of itself gave us some bangers. You got your Mario Galaxies, you got your Zeldas, a Metroid Prime or 2 or 3, but the main thing I associate with the Wii is just how lively the console felt. No, wait, that's wrong. That is better. Look at all this stuff. You got the photo channel, you got the weather channel. Now I can finally find out how weather works! But the channel I used most as a kid was, of course, the Mii channel. It's a pretty simple premise. You get some options, you use your brain, and boom, you have the annoying orange. It's a very simple concept and there's not a ton to do, but I absolutely loved it as a kid. I remember one day when I was a kid, most of the family went out Christmas shopping, and of course the only sensible thing to do was to make a bunch of random fucking Miis. What else was I supposed to do? Play the Spider-Man 3 game? Get the fuck out of here. And if you're wondering what exactly I came up with that day, well, you're in for a treat because... But obviously I can't be the only one who loved Miis because they're the most charming creatures ever. Look, that's you! You're in the game now! And that's kind of what I wanted to look at today. I wanted to inject some of that nostalgia right into my veins and dive into the rabbit hole that is Mii Games. And to do that, we'll be starting with... The year was 2009. 2009. It was 2009. Christmas to be exact, and when I looked under my tree, there it was. The Wii. Now when it come to gaming at the time, I knew a grand total of jack shit. All I knew was Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, which was the only game I had ever played weirdly on 2 separate occasions. One was at my aunt's house with my cousin, and the other one was at a McDonald's with one of those greasy-ass GameCube kiosks. Like always do, it came bundled in with Wii Sports, and I lost the case for it. Before we go any further, let me clarify. This is my Mii. Now I know what you're thinking. But let me explain. My Mii may be a hideous creature, but he's been my Mii since I was in the 3rd grade. Around that time, I used to make comics, and whenever I drew myself, he'd look like this for some reason. I never bothered to change this Mii, though, since I've grown attached to him over the years. Disclaimer aside, Wii Sports is a fucking classic. Kinda. Everyone and their dog has fond memories of playing this game at some point or another, but without bias, it's kinda just whatever. They only packed in about 5 sports, and you can do pretty much everything the game provides you with within about an hour. One thing I discovered while revisiting this game is that these motion controls are pretty nutty. I was trying to play golf, you know, golf's fun. And even with the slightest movement of the Wii remote, I'm talking the slightest touch, fuck! Even the tennis feels a little weird. And might just be something up with my Wiimote, but everything else seems to be working completely fine everywhere else. The game feels like a tech demo for what the Wii was really capable of at launch, which in all fairness is exactly what the game was meant for. I mean, what do you expect with a game bundled with every single unit? But then in 2009, something came along that changed the course of history forever. A revolutionary device named the Wii Motion Plus. Now this thing was so legendary, it changed society for good by giving us Wii Sports Resort. Now this game, I am not ashamed to say, it is a complete banger. The original game started off with just the title screen and the menu of all the sports you can play. But this game ups the ante by having you jump out of a fucking plane onto the island.
Talk about low-budget flights, no food or movies, I'm out of here.
Now, unlike the first game, this one keeps me entertained for hours on end. I revisited it for this video along with the original, and I played the game for a solid, like, 4 or 5 hours. When I revisited the original, I played it for about 40 minutes. This game is so damn fun that even after I got all my footage, I still went back and played it again the next day. Not to mention, look at all the modes you get. Look at all this shit! And that's not even it. Most sports here have sub-modes, like the swordplay, which has a mode where you can just go on a genocidal fucking rampage. And Woohoo Island. Ah! Woohoo Island. With Woohoo Island, Miyamoto set out to create a video game location that people would remember and cherish for all of their days. Stating to the press in 2007, islands are cool. I would love to visit one someday. And thus, the island was born. Woohoo Island has so much character and charm that gets fleshed out in free fly mode. This mode lets you fly all around the island collecting landmarks for yourself and seeing all of the landmarks up close and personal. I also wouldn't say there's a single bad sport in the game, just some are definitely more fun than others. Archery doesn't really have a lot going for it, but it's fun to see your Mii with a weapon. The game's real strength is in its multiplayer. Sports like the canoeing with 4 friends is a level of fun that I will never reach again. But you know, playing it by yourself is just kind of, you know, it's a little sad. Now, I'm sorry, but I have to do something that every Nintendo YouTuber has done before. I gotta talk about E3 2008. Yes, everyone has talked about it before, but cut me some slack, alright? I just got here. Now, this show was fairly unimpressive, but Nintendo pulled out their classic one last thing announcement. What was it? Was it a new Mario? Was it a new Zelda? Even better, it's Wii Music! What the fuck is Wii Music? The announcement was followed by some of the most awkward and unpleasant E3 performances I've ever seen, with Miyamoto and co. playing a slightly out-of-sync version of the Mario theme. But how is Wii Music itself? Well, I have never ever played it in my entire life.
Several days later.
Now, most of the Wii series of games, Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort, Wii Fit, Wii Play, are pretty well received. I see a lot of praise and overall fondness for these games, but with Wii Music, it just kinda exists. And yeah, I can kinda see why. No, I don't hate it. It has its moments of being dumb fun, but it lacks that endless fun of something like Wii Sports Resort. With that game, you have endless activities to do and high scores to beat, but with Wii Music, you just kinda hit some buttons for 3 minutes. One thing I should definitely mention with Wii Music is the songs. They got some danceable jams in here. Besides that, you got 2 or 3 actual licensed songs, and a disgusting lack of Nintendo tracks. There's a few of them, but if you ask me, the entire game should have been Nintendo tracks. Swear, that Wii Sports track came on and it was a bop. I really wish I was playing a better game right now! But yeah, anyway, Game of the Year 2008. Also in 2008 was when Mii started to appear in games like the Mario Kart series. It didn't add a lot to the game and they didn't do anything special, but you gotta admit, it's pretty fun to see Peter Griffin with Mario and Peach after you finish a cup. And playing it got me thinking, imagine how fun it would be if the Miis got into a series like Mario Party. Oh! Now this is gonna sound a little weird, but Wii Party is one of my favorite games ever made. Don't judge me. I just have so many fond memories of this game and playing it with friends and family.
The mini games. Okay, I'm a boss at this game.
So let's take a quick second to revisit the game and oh fuck. Alright, fine. I haven't played this game in years. No matter what I do to this disc, it will not work. I've scrubbed it so hard that my hands started to bleed and still nothing came out of it. But for what it's worth, this game is absolutely fantastic. This is some of the most fun I've ever had with a multiplayer game. I've probably had more fun with this game than like any of the Mario parties. I'm really sorry to say that, but it's true. Originally, I was going to make an entire video about Wii Party due to my unashamed love of this game, but this disc is about as effective as a fucking plate. Just know that this game is a masterpiece and that everyone on the planet should play it at some point. And that's about it for the Golden Age. Why do I call it the Golden Age, you may ask? Well, I just think these games are a lot more charming than future Mii games. They feel like Nintendo was trying to make cute and charming games while also giving us memorable experiences that we remember. Yeah, I'm biased as hell because of, nostalgia, but,
I don't care.
Then in 2011, Nintendo was preparing to release their next set of consoles. How did the Miis fare in this new generation? Well, we'll find out in... the 3DS. I loved this thing back in the day. Another console I got for Christmas, this time without any fun launch titles. All I got with my system was the Superhero Squad game and fucking Cars 2. But the important thing here is that Miis are back. I guess they weren't just a gimmick. We didn't really get any substantial Mii games on this thing for a couple of years, besides Pilot Wings, but who the fuck even played that? But we did get one on Nintendo's other console at the time, the Flop Machine. The Miis pretty much only got one great outing on this thing. We had Wii Party U and Wii Fit U, but I didn't even know Wii Party U existed until like 2015. Isn't marketing fun? What I did get, however, is Nintendo Land. Just like Wii Sports, Nintendo Land is a tech demo to showcase the Wii U's power, but it just has a bit more going for it than Wii Sports did. It's another minigame collection, sure, but this time instead of general sports, it's themed after Nintendo games. Now from this screen, it probably looks like there's a lot going on here, but no, not really. There's a bunch of single-player only games, which doesn't really sound like a bad idea until you realize most of these are hot ass. The Donkey Kong and F-Zero games, they're pretty fun. The Yoshi one, that can suck my fucking cock. Out of here with that baby shit. The multiplayer's fun though. The Metroid and Zelda games are blast. I played through them recently with my stepbrother, and I'll just be honest, I was ready to murder him on multiple occasions. But my personal favorite game has to be Mario Chase. Now this game is so much fun, but you need at least 2 people to play it. Which makes sense, don't get me wrong, but I preferred how in the Wii Sports games, every game was single player and multiplayer. The game's focus on multiplayer makes for a better experience, but it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world to get a group of people over to play Nintendo Land with you. 2014, we all had one very important question on our minds. Can Miis fuck? Yup! Tomodachi Life was released in the summer of 2014 and everybody fucking loved it. The game is basically a souped up version of those little Tamagotchi pets you could buy back in the day, but instead of having one little pet, you get to have an entire apartment building. Why would you want that responsibility? Using Miis, you can put your friends on here, fictional characters, celebrities, anyone. I have clocked countless hours into this game, and it's definitely my favorite of the Mii games alongside Wii Party. Sometimes even when I'm just watching TV or something, I'll grab my 3DS and just check in on my island. Speaking of my island, here it is, Butt Sex Island. I know. I've had this save file for many years, and yet my Mii still has no bitches. I have most, if not all, of my friends on this island, and they either have the best lives or the worst lives. I keep my friend 224 in a cage and only feed him white bread. Why, you may ask? Well, I don't know. He probably deserved it, though. Jack over here tried to get with Scarlett Johansson, but that filthy little Trump got his greasy hands on her. My friend Jabu somehow married Rosalina. They had a little baby, which I promptly named Jababy, because funny. And that's why I love Tomodachi Life so much. It's less of a game and more of an experience. Shit can just kinda happen, and you're just along for the ride. It has some quirky charm and a fun atmosphere, and it really has a nice style to it. It's definitely the best thing to come out of this era. With the worst being Wii Sports Club. How do you follow up Wii Sports Resort, the greatest game of all time? Well, clearly you fucking don't, because what the hell is this shit? You have to pay for each sport. This was some serious EA shit on Nintendo's part. Not to mention, it's essentially just the original Wii Sports, but HD. Going from this to this is such an insane downgrade, it's not even funny. Also, even the sports they did include, they fucking ruined with the gamepad. For no reason! But don't worry guys, they sold a physical version where you don't have to pay for all the sports. I am not paying for that. So yeah, that just about wraps up the Silver Age. It's not nearly as long as the last section, but that's just because the Miis weren't as much of a focus during the Wii U era. Nintendo was more focused on giving us absolutely fucking nothing. The Switch. Now, I love the Switch a lot. I think its library's pretty solid, and it's nice that I can finally touch anime titties in bed. But man, as a console, this thing blows. Look at this boring-ass UI. Where's the flavor, the aesthetic, themes, even anything? Oh, wait, no, there they are. No extra knickknacks, nothing, no fun allowed. The only thing on the Switch's menu is games. The Miis? They're buried deep into the settings menu, waiting to be found. And on the Switch, us Mii fans are eating good tonight. You see, it's funny because we're getting nothing. The Switch launched with 1-2 Switch, a game that had nothing of substance besides being a full-price Joy-Con tech demo, with live-action models and no visuals on screen. This shit sucks. Look, I get it, the Joy-Con can go potty, but why would I play this? So when the Switch launched without a Mii-related tech demo, I entered oh shit territory. Mii still popped up in Mario Kart and Smash Bros, and that's pretty much it. But you can make them your profile picture. And then in 2020, we got Clubhouse games for the Switch, a minigame collection featuring bowling developed by the devs of Wii Party. Oh man, this is what we've been waiting for! Oh yeah! We hadn't gotten any Mii related games on Switch until like 3 months ago when Miitopia came out, and it's not even a new game. Miitopia came out on the 3DS in 2017, and I don't think I've cared less about something since McDonald's announced all-day breakfast. Fucking mid-ass pancakes. The game looked really whatever and didn't interest me whatsoever. But when it was announced for Switch, I was a little bit skeptical of its quality. That was the most fuck it purchase of all time. Now with Miitopia, you either think it's the best thing in the world or the worst thing in the world. And yeah, I'm a little closer to the worst. You know, it's pretty simple. The game's not fun. Alright, when do I get to start playing? Miitopia consists of make Miis, assign roles, watch them walk from left to right, and battle. In Tomodachi Life, the idea of watching things happen was still fun since you had direct input on the events. You had to help all your Miis with their problems or play games with them, but in Miitopia, you just press a button and watch the guys go fishing. What it's trying to be is Tomodachi Life, but in a different scenario, being an adventure RPG, but it doesn't really work. However, the game does have its good moments. I genuinely did have some fun in the more early areas of the game where I could just go on an adventure with some fictional characters and not think too hard. Assigning Mii roles is super fun and can lead to some interesting story moments. And speaking of the Miis, we've reached levels of Mii making that shouldn't even be possible. I've seen some of the most insane shit through this new Mii maker, and the Miis just look so realistic and detailed and gay! You can finally have gay relationships! And sadly, that's about it for Miis on the Switch. The only other thing that features them prominently is that new Mario Golf that literally just came out. It's cool that you can play as them and that the story mode doesn't just have you play as Mario, but I'd still consider this to be the worst era for the Miis so far, and it's just due to that lack of Wii era charm. Miitopia really feels like it's trying to be weird and quirky like Tomodachi Life, but it lacks the fun of Tomodachi Life and falls right on its face. Miis are still fun to mess with sometimes, but I can't help but feel like they don't have much time left. The Miis seem to get less and less to do every time a new console drops, and I feel like the next time a new console rolls around, it'll be fully Miiless. So Nintendo, please bring back Miis and give them more to do. I promise you the reason people didn't buy the Wii U is because it had Miis on it. That was the furthest thing from your problems. So please bring back the Miis. I miss them so much. Oh yeah, Miitomo existed. See you all in 7 more months.